Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, that's NEITI, reported that about 7.68 million barrels of crude oil were stolen or lost in 2023. This marks a 79% reduction. 79% reduction. Let's go back to that part of the story now. It marks a 79% reduction from the 36.69 million barrels that were lost in 2022. The 2022 report showed a decline in crude oil production, with 490.95 million barrels produced, down 11% from 2021. However, production in 2023 increased. Production increased, and then this time, the millions of barrels that were stolen reduced. It dropped, but it's still very high. 7.7 millions of barrels stolen in 2023, increased by 9.5% to 537.6 million barrels. Now, NEITI has also reported that the oil and gas sector contributed $15.6 billion in revenue in 2022. And then in 2023, it contributed $21.4 billion. Outstanding dues to the federal government from the sector as of June 2024 were over $6 billion and 66 billion naira. Additionally, 23.5 billion liters of petrol were imported, right, in 2022, while 20.2 billion liters were imported in 2023. At the report's presentation, George Akume, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, highlighted the government's commitment to the NEITI's principles to foster accountability and economic growth. NEITI's Executive Secretary, Ogbonnaya Orji, emphasized that the report's findings must drive reforms to benefit all Nigerians at the end of the day. All right, how do you see this report?
Well, I love the last sentence.
Okay.
Statement where he said, you know, reports and findings should be able to drive benefit
growth, yes,
for all Nigerians. Which that's one word I love in that whole story, because every story about decline in crude, increasement in crude, that's not what Nigerians want to hear right now. What Nigerians want to hear is the impact of the little that they have on them, is the impact of that industry in their lives. The product they are talking about now is not affordable by Nigerians. Is available for Nigerians, but not affordable. So I want to encourage that whatever grammar that is surrounding... That's
the petrol now, that's what you're talking about.
That's the point.
So what about the crude oil now and the story behind that? 7.7 million barrels stolen.
Who stole them? What has happened to the... if there was any arrest made? Are there court cases in view of these thefts? Or is it the ones that are being stolen before the production? But I think the one...
How can crude oil be stolen before production?
No, the ones are the pipeline now.
Okay.
Maybe if it's those ones, you know, as a result of vandal...
No, there are various ways or aspects. So put it, well, all of them put together.
Now, if they put all together and it amounted to this, well, it's not too okay for our country, because if it is those ones that are being stolen from the pipeline, they are also having some negative effects on our environment. But mine, why I don't get so much worried about those ones also is that even where the companies are flaring gases, there is no compensation, there is no kind of environmental cleanup. The places where they have also exploited these crude explorations, there is no environmental cleanup. So I will not be crying more on the ones that they went and break the pipeline to collect. In as much as I condemn those activities, I also feel that there are also signs of government failure on her citizens. Because if the government have been responsible in providing for the needs of her people, I don't think any right-thinking man will go to the pipeline to begin to vandalize because you want to make an ends meet. These are not the big players in the crude business. These are just the little theft in that industry. So the big thieves in that industry are the ones that are impoverishing Nigeria, are the ones that are making the environment that have been destroyed.
Are they not all destroying the environment and impoverishing Nigeria?
You see, those big thieves, they do nothing to them. The ones that police, army, and security operatives go after are those small thieves in that industry. Those who go and break pipeline and collect on jerrycan rubber to sell. But those who steal in barrels, who steals in millions of barrels, we hear no more story about them. So I want to believe that we want a better Nigeria because by tomorrow we are talking about independence. So we should also be looking at how far has the crude been a blessing to this country. Yes, it has been a big blessing to us as a people because that is what this country is being sustained with. That's what every governor is using to get billions of naira every month. But how has the impact of this crude money affected the common Nigerian? How have these crude resources affected the host communities where these resources are being generated from? So God placed crude oil to be a blessing to Nigeria, but we have some leaders who have turned it to be a personal blessing to them, whereas it becomes a curse on Nigerians. So I believe that crude oil story should be a story that Nigerians will see that has transformed their lives. It's not a story that upon the whole money billions that is still being sold from crude, Nigerians can still feed. There is still hunger in the land. There is still joblessness in the land. There is still insecurity in the land.
But this is because of cases like this.
The one that was not stolen, what is the money used for? We cannot be talking about the little that is stolen. We have condemned it is not good. But don't give us the impression that it was because they stole crude. That's why Nigerians are hungry. We see here records of billions of naira, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars that we get from the crude. What is the impact on our lives? So it's not because they stole crude, that's why we are hungry today. Or are we going to pay? You are not giving us what we need to get because some people stole crude. Am I the one that stole it that I'm hungry? So those of us who didn't steal, what is the impact on it in our lives?
If the theft is affecting the economy, you're in the country, so definitely.
Is it affecting the economy of the governor? Is it affecting the economy of the president? They bought a new jet for Mr. President. They built a new house for the vice president. Things are going on well. Has the comfort of the Mr. President reduced? Has the comfort of the governor reduced? So when it has to do with the common man, the economy is bad. God will judge everybody. So I want to believe that the issue of crude theft should not be the reason why Nigerians are suffering.
But then there was a reduction now from what it was in 2022. About 30-something million.
It has only affected the more money they would have looted and siphoned. That's why it looks as if it's a complaint, not a story. Because the ones that is in your hands now, in your control, the common man have no benefit for it. So even if they stole, it's only affecting your pocket. It's not affecting the common man. So the ones that you have, which is more, we want to share from it. We want to benefit from it. We want to have food on our table. We want our children to go to school. We want light in our houses. We want good roads. We want a better health facility. We want a safe environment. We are not asking for much. These are basic responsibilities of government. And we have the money to fund all of these things I'm saying.
All right, down to still talking about